You don't have to invent a winning idea from scratch because someone has already proven this can work. Your job is to find what's working, understand it, and rebuild it for your audience. But here's where most creators get stuck. You already have the ideas. It's not your problem. Your problem is that you can't tell which ones are worth 40 hours of your life and which ones were never going to land, no matter how well you executed them. So you go with the one that excites you the most. And that excitement right there, that's the trap. Because that idea didn't come from your audience. It came from you. And your audience doesn't care what excites you. They care what solves something they're dealing with right now. Most creators never build a filter for this. They generate ideas, they pick the ones that feel right, and they bet their time on gut instinct dressed up as confidence. The idea engine finds the pattern and then filters everything else out. And when you run your ideas through it, some of the ones you are most confident about won't make the cut. Good. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. And here's why this keeps happening. And most creators, they never even see it. There are two kinds of video ideas. Ideas that solve a creator's problem and ideas that solve your audience's problem. They don't look different on a list. They both feel valid and they both seem worth making. But only one of them gets watched. And once you see that distinction clearly, something else comes into focus. Because the creators winning right now aren't just making good individual videos. They're running a pattern, a proven one. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And we're going to look at that pattern today, and then we're going to use it to find your next idea worth making. But first, I want to be honest with you about something. I know what those nights feel like. You get home, you're tired, not just physically tired, the kind of tired where making a real decision feels like too much. So you open YouTube. Not to waste time, you genuinely want to learn something. You find a few videos that look helpful. You save them for later. Open your journal, write down a couple of ideas, maybe a title that sounds interesting, and a concept that you want to explore. And then you close everything because you can feel that you just don't have enough time or energy to actually start something tonight. And starting something you can't finish feels worse than not starting at all. So the saved videos, they pile up. The journal fills with ideas that never become anything, and the next night looks pretty much the same. That's not a discipline problem. That's an idea selection problem. It took me a long time to realize the problem wasn't energy. It wasn't time. It was that I had too many ideas and no way to know which one deserved to be next. And when you can't make that decision confidently, your brain defaults to consuming instead of creating, almost every time. The idea engine is the decision made in advance, so that when you sit down, tired, limited on time, and running on the last of what you got, you're not planning anymore. You're just building. And that's what I want to show you. 3 layers, each one doing a specific job, each one protecting something you can't afford to lose. The first layer is the outlier pattern. This is where we stop building from scratch. Right now in your niche, there are ideas that have already proven they can work. Videos that massively overperform for channels just like yours. That's where we start. Not by guessing, but by using proven data. The second layer is the avatar filter. This is where we protect your time, because not every proven idea is the right idea for your audience. The avatar filter runs everything through your specific viewer with their specific constraints, their specific exhaustion, their specific Tuesday night. The ideas that don't survive that filter would have cost you 40 hours. Now, they cost you nothing. Because a single outlier is just a one-night stand with the algorithm. But a series is a relationship. The third layer is series architecture. This is where we protect your momentum. Because the channels growing fastest right now aren't just making good individual videos. They're building something connected, something that compounds. One good video gets views. A series builds a channel. 3 layers, 3 jobs. Let me show you how they work. I'm going to start with outlier research. That's the first layer. Before we generate a single idea, I want to know what's already proven to work in this niche. Real data, real channels, real overperformance. Now I could do this live, but honestly, finding good outlier screenshots takes time and I don't want to waste yours. So I already went ahead and pulled these from 1 of 10, filtered for channels our size, last 12 months, 2 times the minimum outlier score. Now I'm using 1 of 10 because it makes the process faster, but you don't have to. You can go straight to YouTube, find channels in your niche, sort by popularity, screenshot the top performers. You'll get to the same place. The tool just speeds it up a bit. Now, these aren't random videos. These are patterns. And in a second, you're going to see the engine tell us exactly which ones are worth stealing from. Here's what most creators miss when they do outlier research. They look at view counts. They get excited about the big numbers, and they try to recreate the video that got those numbers. That's copying a lottery win. What the engine just did is different. It looked past the individual videos and found what they have in common. And for each one, it breaks down the angle, the emotional hook, and exactly why it overperformed. Not just what worked, but why. Now, what these outliers are really proving, and when you look across all of them, these patterns keep showing up. Extreme compression, visible transformation, borrowed certainty, the same underlying angles winning repeatedly across completely different channels. That's what's actually worth stealing, not the video, but the pattern underneath it. So watch now what happens when we run those patterns through the avatar filter. The moment the engine earns its name. We found the patterns. Now we found out which ones are actually worth making. The avatar filter takes everything that survived layer 1 and runs it through your viewer's specific reality. Their time, their energy, their budget, their long evenings after a long shift. Some ideas come through strong. Those go on the short list. But watch the ones that get flagged. These aren't weak ideas. Some of them had massive outlier scores. But the engine is telling us something more important than view potential. It's telling us whether our specific audience would actually watch this and whether we can actually make it. That's the filter working exactly the way it's supposed to. The ideas that survive aren't the most exciting ones on the list, but they're the right ones. Last thing I want to show you before we wrap up the demo, the engine didn't just score our ideas, it grouped them. These clusters right here, these are the beginnings of a series, ideas that belong together, that build on one another, that give your viewer a reason to come back for the next one. I want to show you what it looks like in the real world. This is April Lynn Alter's YouTube channel. 132,000 subscribers, 48 videos. Look what she built. You don't need me to explain what you're seeing. The name series are right there. Killer video series, YouTube tips, 90-day monetization challenge. Each one a connected body of work that compounds over time. Her biggest video didn't blow up because it was good. It blew up because it was part of something. One good video gets views. A series builds a channel. That's the difference. And now you have a system that builds towards it from the very first idea you choose. So now you know what's missing. It was never creativity. It was never motivation. It was never even time. It was not having a filter. You were generating ideas from your own excitement, betting your most valuable resources, your limited hours on gut instinct dressed up as confidence. That changes now. The idea engine doesn't make you more creative. It makes your creativity count. It takes everything you already have, the ideas, the energy, the drive, and points it in the right target before you spend a single hour making something. And once you run your ideas through it, you'll wonder how you ever chose without it. Next up is the hook engine, because a validated idea is only half the battle. The other half is the first 15 seconds. That's where your viewer decides whether to keep watching or move on. And most creators lose them right there. The creator kit below has everything you need to set up your own idea engine. Prompts, filters, and the mission statement builder included. It's free, just your email. And let's keep building.